Hi, I'm Anita of my Juggernaut podcast, and wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And if you're seeing the show for the very first time and you like the show, please subscribe, like, and share, and hit the notification bell so when an episode comes out, you will be the first to know. Well, today we had another article from Byline Times on Dan Wootton, and it was entitled Martin Branning, his first victim. And I am telling you, this article, if it is true, what Byline Times is saying about Dan Wootton, then Dan Wootton to me is a sociopath and a master manipulator. And you could see his manipulation in his shows, particularly when he's talking about other people. But let me just go through, what this article was all about. So we've already heard of this victim. This victim was described on Twitter by Alex, that's Dan Wootton's former boyfriend. This victim was the individual on that videotape that was found by Alex behind of Dan Wootton's washing machine. So it's just incredible how that victim has been tortured by Dan Wootton according to Byline Times. So Byline Times is saying that Dan Wootton was acting like a third party in all of this. So here's this victim started getting emails from this Martin Branning right after meeting Dan Wootton in a private club in England. So at that time, this victim was down on his luck. He needed money. He was in a bad situation, and he was approached via emails to, have sex with other males, and he would be paid $5,000 for, those moments. And this victim claimed that Dan Wootton, according to Byline Times, aka Martin Branning, would pick out the individuals that he wanted him to engage in sexual intercourse with. So apparently Dan Wootton had a particular type, and they would find these individuals on Grindr and Gaydar. Those are websites out there. And Martin Branning eventually, after striking up this conversation and describing what he wanted from the guy and how much he was going to pay him, started sending all the videotaping materials via, a courier. And he would tape, all these guys, and then the courier would come and they would pick up the tape or the whatever the equipment back to Martin Branning, aka Martin Branning. Now, that went on for quite a few years, and then in the end, Martin Branning asked him, this victim, to videotape himself with his partner. Now, this partner worked with Dan Wootton at News of the World. And this is something that victim did not want to do. It was, something that he didn't want to do, and he said that it appears that Dan Wootton, according to Byline Times, was, interested in his partner, his boyfriend. It seems like he had a crush on him. And it seems like, based on what I'm reading in the article, that Dan Wootton didn't want him. He wanted to upset the relationship that this victim had with his partner. And maybe Dan Wootton was jealous. and I think that was said in there, he was jealous of the relationship. So Dan Wootton asked him to videotape himself with his partner. He didn't want to do it. So he was blackmailed. And how was he blackmailed? He was blackmailed by, according to Byline Times, by Dan Wootton, because Dan Wootton had all these other videos of him having sexual intercourse with other men that he found on Gator and Grinder, and he threatened that he was going to take these videos that he had and give it to his family and share it with his friends as well as put it on Facebook. So he literally was scared, and he thought of all the embarrassment that would bring to him. So he decided that he was going to go ahead and film his you know film his partner when they were in, when they were in some intimate moments. So the partner did not know that he was being filmed. That is the reason why when Alex talked about the video that he found, it seems like the video, there was no consent for the video. It seems like somebody was filming the video, without the other person knowing. So that's confirmation there. And anyways, he does the filming of the video and he turns it over to Martin Branning. Yeah, he didn't know Martin Branning was Dan as yet. So he films it, he gives it to Dan Wootton, according to Byline Times, and in the end, Dan Wootton betrays him. Dan Wootton took that video and other pictures that he had sent of his partner, which Dan Wootton wanted or, had a crush on and stuff like that, and sent it to the partner. That is the ultimate form of betrayal in my mind. That is a sociopathic behavior. Here he is telling you he doesn't want this to happen. He doesn't want to film his partner. It would cause him a great amount of distress if he films his partner. You force him to film his partner. He gives you what you want, and then you take it and you use it against him by taking, bits and pieces of the video and other photos that you had sent and put it together and sent it to the partner. So, essentially that would have caused his partner to leave him, the victim's partner to leave him. And that would probably make him available for Dan Wootton. Who knows if that was the ultimate goal. But I just think it's just sociopathic that you want to see somebody that has obliged to your wishes for such a long time, years, and then what do you do to repay them? You punish them by taking the very thing that they didn't want anybody else to see and share it to the very person that they ultimately don't want to know that they were recording them. I don't even know how to say this because it is so convoluted. So I just think you're seeing manipulation, preying on somebody, like predatory behavior, preying on somebody that is in need. Here's this guy in need of money. You pay him large sums of cash. Here he is endangering himself, sleeping with random people that you selected. Then when you're finished, you're blackmailing him, telling him, that you're going to expose him. And, with all the videos that you have. And then the last thing that you do is behave like a psychopath by taking the very thing that he doesn't want to have out there, the very thing that is going to destroy him. You take it and then you put it together and you send it to the person that this guy was videotaping without his knowledge. that says a lot about that person. That says a lot about Dan Wootton if he did it according to Byline Times. Okay, so and this we know there are at least 10 victims, and this is just the first victim that they're talking about. They will talk about the others drip by drip. They're not going to put out all their goods out there. They're going to give it to us drip by drip, and it's just so distressing to read about. You go in there and you're sort of like closing your eyes, don't know what to expect, and this is what you see: behaviors of a manipulator, a predator, a blackmailer, a psychopath. It's just really crazy. And then Dan wouldn't have the nerve to talk about Megan and other people, and this is not the first time he has behaved like that. He's outed people. This guy just he really needs to be fired. He really needs to go on the poverty line, because the kinds of things that I'm reading there, if it's true, then it's a very cruel man. And I am telling you, his eyes says it all. His little beanie eyes says it all. Now the good news is that there are emails out there with that Martin Branning pseudonym. So the victim that they talked about, the first victim today, he was able to provide some of those emails of Martin Branning. I'm telling you, they are going to trace it. They are going to trace it. Let me tell you something. The internet's memory, it's not like people. It is forever there. It is never lost. The memory is never lost. If you email something, there is a way to go back and trace it. And I know Byline said it's 3 years now they have been investigating Dan Wootton. So I know they have a lot on him. And they're going to let it out piece by piece. So this is the first victim. They said there's at most 10 victims. And I guess we'll be hearing from the rest. And the police is on the case. And yeah. Yep. It's really convincing. The evidence is convincing. Yep. The evidence is convincing. Anyways, guys, that's all for now. Take care and bye.